The drama begins by introducing the male lead, Yi Chuan, who is seen within a game plot, holding a gun and fighting others. Finally, he reaches a place where his opponent stands before him. His opponent says, "Leave me alone." Just then, we see Yi Chuan sitting on a chair, and an incoming call appears on his phone. Stopping the game midway, he receives the call. Nearby, some girls sitting at the tables recognize him. They start following Yi Chuan and say, "He is so cute." Yi Chuan runs toward a lift. During this, he accidentally pushes the female lead of this drama, Juju. Now, Juju also enters the lift where Yi Chuan has already entered. Here, Juju is taking screenshots of something on her phone. From the clicking sound, Yi Chuan thinks, "Juju is taking my photo." He tries to stop Juju and take her phone. In the middle of all this, Juju's phone falls outside the lift, and she goes to pick it up. Then Juju says to Yi Chuan, "You broke my phone. Apologize." Yi Chuan replies, "I will pay you for this." Juju does not like this, so Yi Chuan's friend, Bo Yu, steps in between. He says to Juju, "I will make the payment to you online. You can get the phone repaired with it." Just then, Juju meets a boy named Zheng. Juju tells Zheng, "No matter how many flowers you send, I am not going to join your company." Later, Bo Yu and Yi Chuan are traveling by car. On the way, they see Juju, and Bo Yu says, "Do you want a lift?" Juju sits in the car and says, "I will pay for this." Then, when Bo Yu asks, "What is your name?" Juju tells him her name. Yi Chuan remarks, "Your name is quite a teasing one." Finally, Juju reaches her university and gets out of the car. From behind, Bo Yu says, "Bye, Juju, add me on WeChat." After this, we see a flashback of Yi Chuan standing in front of this university hostel. He was waiting for someone. Then he sees a girl from behind with a doll hanging from her bag. This is the same doll that Yi Chuan saw with Juju today. In the flashback scene, we see Yi Chuan calling someone, but a male voice comes from the other side. The scene returns to the current time, and we see Juju doing her work. She also does a live stream and gives a review of a juice. Meanwhile, Yi Chuan is at home and asks Bo Yu, "Check the time on my phone." Bo Yu says, "But you have a phone too. Check it on your own phone." Immediately he adds, "Oh, okay, I understand. Fine. Whenever Juju adds me on WeChat, I will tell you." Later we see Yi Chuan. He takes out a small teddy from his drawer. Looking at it, he says, "Juju." The next day, a boy named Yang calls Juju and asks, "Are you really going to play for that team?" Later, Juju meets Yang, where Yang shows her last night's live stream. In that stream, Juju said while drunk, "I will play on behalf of a team." At that time, she was not in her senses and did not know what she was saying. Juju requests Yang, "Please play on my behalf." Yang says, "I will not play." Then he asks, "I saw the news where you were with Yi Chuan. He is your boyfriend, isn't he?" Juju replies, "It's nothing like that." Yang tells her, "I am his fan. He is the guru of esports, but he plays in a team only in his own way, and no one else plays as well as him. So every time he does not focus on his team members and plays his own way, causing his team to come in second. That is why he has been trolled as well." Here, both discuss and decide Juju will take Bo Yu's help so that he can play on her behalf, but Bo Yu says, "I don't have time." He then refers Juju to another player who is actually Yi Chuan. However, Juju does not realize Bo Yu has referred me to Yi Chuan. When Juju reaches Yi Chuan's apartment, both are surprised to see each other. But Juju behaves very nicely with Yi Chuan and asks, "Yi Chuan, please help me." Yi Chuan makes her clean the trash in the house. Then Juju finds a shoe, and immediately Yi Chuan comes and sits on the shoebox. By mistake, Juju ends up sitting on his lap. After much effort, Juju is able to get up. When she asks, "Is there more work?" Yi Chuan asks, "Where's the money?" Juju says, "I am a poor student. Please help me." Juju places her hand on Yi Chuan's hand and says, "Please agree." Yi Chuan removes her hand and says, "I have been unemployed for 6 months. I have been living by eating instant noodles every day. I need money. 20,000. Juju says, "This is way too much. I will pay in installments." Further, we see Juju picking up a lot of trash and throwing it in the dustbin. She says to Yi Chuan, "You have put me to these tasks. When will you teach me the game?" Yi Chuan replies, "Fine. We will meet at the internet cafe." Jojo becomes happy and says, "Wait for me." She says this and leaves. In a flashback, we see someone messaging Yi Chuan writing, "Finally, we are going to meet our internet friend. Wait for me." Just then, Bo Yu comes and asks Yi Chuan, "What is the matter? Who is that girl?" Later, Yi Chuan goes to a match setup where the audience is shouting the name of a team. We see Yi Chuan playing on his system. Suddenly, an announcement is made. Team ULT is out of this round. The scene returns to the current time where Yi Chuan says to himself, "I can't believe we met again after 3 years." Juju arrives to meet Yi Chuan, and he starts teaching her the game. A moment comes when Juju says, "I didn't understand this point." Yi Chuan says, "Practice it 100 times. Juju asks, "Will 50 times be enough?" Yi Chuan replies, "Show me one player who got selected like that. You were the one who said don't take me lightly. One has to work hard. On the other side, Juju's opponent, Wen, tells her team, before becoming a manager, I have done a lot of streaming. Defeating such an opponent is very easy for me. Then Yichuan says to Juju, come on, let's start. Both put on headphones and start playing. While playing, Juju says, someone is near me. Yichuan says, he has moved ahead of you. Slowly, the game progresses. Jojo thinks, I am afraid to move forward, and Yichuan protects her while shooting the opponents. He even shoots toward Juju once because he thinks she isn't moving forward. After this shot, Juju starts moving, and by the end, both win the game. Over there, we see the broadcasting manager. He focuses heavily on his gaming department. He feels the gaming partner with Juju is actually Yichuan because only Yichuan has such gaming skills. Next, we see Yichuan and Juju going to join a new place as gaming intern employees. However they think, we don't particularly like the strategies here. The people there start convincing Juju and Yichuan, please join us. Yichuan thinks, I am not very convinced. But Juju thinks, I am convinced. When she signs the contract, she realizes, I am the only employee in the gaming department. Knowing this, she thinks, I am scared. Tian takes her to his house. Another girl is also there, whose name is also Tian. Here, Tian learns Juju needs a player for her team. The boy Tian says, I will join. But the girl Tian says, stop him from doing so. The next day, the boy Tian arrives at Juju's office. The girl Tian is actually the boy Tian's sister. She also follows him to the office to say, Tian, stop playing esports. She thinks Tian shouldn't take his career so lightly. Tian's sister says, Tian, you came here only because Juju asked. Actually, you don't care about your career. You love Juju, so you came just because she said it once. Meanwhile, Juju says to a new player, please join my company's esports department. That player thinks, I need some time to think. In a flashback, we see a doctor giving some reports to Yichuan and saying, you need to undergo some operations. Later, we see Yichuan sleeping at home and having a dream where he is in a match. Juju is there and says, we couldn't have left without meeting. I told you, didn't I? The next day, Yichuan wakes up. Juju comes to his house bringing his favorite food. Yichuan asks, since when did a manager like you become a nanny? Juju doesn't care about this and starts telling Yichuan, these are the terms of joining my team. Here, Yichuan learns Juju has appointed a player named Zheng as a coach. This is the same boy Juju had talked to earlier. Seeing his name on the contract, Yichuan also signs, saying, I agree to join the team. But he says to Juju, I have some conditions. You must provide facilities like keeping a person at all times to lift my mood and giving me a soundproof room. Later, a meeting is held. Juju's manager, Shi, introduces himself to everyone. He says, welcome everyone to participate in the team. Meanwhile, the boy Tian and Juju talk to each other occasionally, which makes Yichuan feel, I am a bit jealous. Before leaving after the meeting, he tells Juju, come and help me pack my bag. Then we see Yichuan and the team's coach, Zheng. Yichuan tells Zheng, I have always wanted you as my trainer. In a flashback, we see Yichuan and Zheng playing where Zheng ordered Yichuan, take a certain step. But Yichuan couldn't play his game properly and ultimately their team, ULT, couldn't win. The scene returns to the current time, where Yichuan thinks, I regret this. Later, Juju arrives at the house where Yichuan is already present. Juju starts her work, but in a hurry, she is about to bump into Yichuan when he catches her. For a while, they just keep looking at each other. Next, Shi brings everyone to their new living place. It is a very beautiful place. Here they say, let's discuss our game. After this, everyone plays a mock game where ultimately Yichuan wins. He tells Tian, see, this is how you finish it. Later, we see Yichuan and Juju fighting over a room. They say, I want this room. Ultimately, both sleep in that room to claim their right over it. The next day, while putting clothes in the cupboard, Yichuan's shoe comes into Juju's hand. She says, this shoe isn't dirt-proof, is it? Yichuan says, look, don't try any wrong moves just to stay in this room. Then, Yichuan tries to take the shoe from Juju, and just then, Boyu enters and sees them in this condition. He thinks, this is weird, and leaves. Yichuan and Juju move away from each other. Later, Juju is alone in the room. She reads a message on her phone. In a flashback, we see that one day Juju had reached a stadium. Juju thinks, I reached that stadium one day. In the current time, Juju messages that person back, is it you? Yichuan's phone is kept on the table. Jojo moves toward the phone. Later, Yichuan enters the room. Jojo says to him, your phone was ringing repeatedly. Yichuan laughs and says, Bo, you must be calling? But Jojo thinks, I have doubts, and keeps looking at Yichuan. Later, both Yichuan and Juju talk to their respective online friends. Actually, both are talking to each other. But Yichuan knows, I am talking to Juju. Juju doesn't know, my online friend is Yichuan. In the chat, Juju says, Yichuan is a big shot with a bad attitude. Yichuan messages, Don't speak like that about him. Surely there must be some good qualities in him too. Actually, these two used to talk to each other online 3 years ago. They were online friends then. Juju was supposed to meet Yichuan, but she said, I can't come. After that, they had lost contact. And now, after 3 years, they have started chatting again. After this, the team coach starts training all the members. He says, I have seen all your movements. We have to play as a team, not individually. The next day, Zheng tells everyone their mistakes and says, you all need to improve in these areas. At night, Tian is practicing hard. Jojo praises him and says, don't practice so much. Take some rest. Just then, Yichuan arrives. Jojo says to him, why did you come here? Do you want lemonade again? You keep eating all the time, but don't do any work. Yichuan feels bad hearing this and leaves the room. Jojo also feels bad and goes to Yichuan saying, I am sorry. I said a bit too much. The next day, Tian and Jojo are talking about buying physical fitness equipment. Yichuan arrives and asks, are these equipments being bought for someone special? Jojo says, you stay on the sofa all day. Your physical fitness is the worst in the team. Tian tells Yichuan, shall we have a fight? Then Tian and Yichuan start racing against each other. Later, other players of the team also join them. Afterward, everyone is resting. Jojo comes and says, for the upcoming tournament, our team's name is very far behind. Yichuan goes to look at the list, but Juju stops him. Actually, some hate comments against Yichuan have appeared on the phone, and Juju thinks, I don't want him to see these hate comments. Shir looks at the team list and says, looking at this, it doesn't seem like an official record. I'll talk and see. Juju messages her online friend, online bullying is happening with my team member. I hope he doesn't see those comments. But Yichuan thinks, I have already seen those comments. After this, Juju talks to the department where the department head tells her, looking at your team's condition, you will only get half the budget. Juju thinks, I am worried. Tian thinks, I know about this now. Next, we see Yichuan with the doctor. The doctor tells him, the muscle in your hand has become weak. You must have surgery. Next, Juju says to Yichuan, we have thought about doing live streaming. In the middle of the conversation, Juju says to Tian, I will sponsor your wedding. Hearing this, Yichuan becomes happy because until now he thought there is some liking between Juju and Tian. But hearing this from Juju, he thinks, I feel relaxed. After this, everyone starts live streaming. They do the live streaming very well. At the end, they say, all of you, please share our video. The lucky winner will get the headphones that Chuan uses. After this, we see Yichuan and Tian. Tian challenges Yichuan to a game. They start playing, and Yichuan plays very well. In the end, Chuan wins. He tells Tian, use your heart and mind correctly. Actually, Yichuan used to focus on playing well individually, but now he has learned how to play as a team. He is trying to teach Tian the same, but Tian is behaving exactly like Yichuan used to. Tian is still focusing only on individual gaming. Later, Yichuan sees Tian sitting alone and practicing. Yichuan messages his online friend, who is actually Juju, saying, there is some benefit to the boy next to me. Actually, he told Juju, I am in a hospital where there is a boy in the bed next to me and a nurse in the room. Juju messages him back, my team's big shot actually gets along with everyone. For so many days, he was just showing attitude like that. Here, Juju is talking about Yichuan. Finally, Juju starts reading the storybook. The next day, when Juju wakes up, she sees that fans have sent some equipment as gifts for Tian. When Tian finds out, he thinks, I am shocked. Over there in Wenwen's team, a person named Feng says to Wenwen, I hired the best nutritionist and provided good equipment. So why is our team's condition so poor? A team member says, actually, in that other team, a single player killed 29 players at once. Wenwen says, there is a mukbang artist in that Eon team who has boosted that team through live streaming. Now, Wenwen holds a meeting with a person named Mr. Fen and says, please arrange for live streaming. Here, the Eon team is actually Juju's team. Next, Juju is called by the legal department. A girl there tells her, you have broken the live streaming rule. There's a certain timing, and you must stream during that time. Since you broke the rule, you must now do a 5-hour mukbang live stream. Juju says, I accept this punishment, and starts the 5-hour mukbang. But Yichuan enters the room and causes interruptions in Juju's live stream. Juju asks Yichuan, do you have any knowledge about any other live streaming department? I want to sign a contract with them. Hearing this, Yichuan leaves the room. He says to a person, I want to sign a live streaming contract with you. Ultimately, that person says, I agree. On the other side, Tian enters Juju's room and sees her lying unconscious. Tian asks her, what happened to you? Since Juju is unconscious, Tian carries her on his back. He brings her to the hospital where Juju receives treatment. Yichuan enters the room and sees that no one has come yet. He thinks, where has everyone gone? Yichuan calls Juju, but Tian cuts his call. The call comes again. and Tian goes outside the hospital room to receive it, saying she is in the hospital. Chuan comes running to the hospital. The nurse says only one person can stay with the patient. Chuan quickly signs the contract to stay there. Later, Juju regains consciousness. Chuan says, I went away for a little while and you got admitted? Later, Tian's sister comes and tells Shai, do you even know about your employees? A rule was broken in a Juju's live stream and the legal department has asked for a fine. Later, Shu calls Juju and learns Juju is in the hospital. He goes to the hospital. There, he finds out Juju is doing mukbang. He says, I will talk to the legal department. Later, a player from Wenwen's team says in a live stream, I am starting the game. Then Chuan and Tian also start playing against him. Slowly, the players of Wenwen's team start losing. Ultimately, the main player of Wenwen's team gets frustrated and threatens Chuan on the live stream, saying, why are you hitting from behind? If you have courage, come in front. Hearing this, Wen turns off that player's live streaming connection and says, you cannot say such nonsense on a live stream. After this, Bo Yu comes to Juju and gives her a card saying, the manager here wants to meet you for live streaming. Actually, this manager is the same person Yi Chuan had talked to. Bo Yu starts saying, Chuan met a girl on an online true forum, but she didn't come to meet him later. One shouldn't trust such online love. Hearing this, Yi Chuan thinks he shouldn't say anything more and takes Bo Yu away. Tian was also outside this room. He says to Bo Yu, I have heard everything and I understand it all now. Yi Chuan enters the room. Juju looks at him and asks, 3 years ago, May 10th? Yi Chuan slowly says, look, I didn't want to hide anything from you. Both go outside the room where Yi Chuan tries to pacify Juju, saying 1 hour of anger means 60 minutes of depression. Juju laughs hearing this. After this, Juju returns home. Tian's sister also comes with her. Shir tells the sister, Yi Chuan is Tian's rival. Later, the brother, Tian, drops Juju at her room. Tian's sister asks Juju, what are you thinking so much about? Juju replies, the person I met online 3 years ago is Yi Chuan. Over there, Yi Chuan sees Jojo has blocked me. Next, Jojo announces, the budget is running low, so from now on we must reduce our expenses. After this, Jujo and Tian are returning from the market. Tian says, I heard everything. Jojo says, can I hide anything from you? Later, Chuan cooks good food at home. Everyone eats that food. Then Shir decides the name for this team will be Just Right. She encourages his team and says, we are all one family. We have to fight together. The next day, Jujo gives everyone a code of conduct paper where it is written how much of which items each person will get per day. It is written, every person will get 6 rolls of tissue paper per day. Next, Jung's girlfriend, Meng, says to Zheng, when will we get our own house? Mother was asking. Jung asks, if we don't get a house, will the wedding not happen? Meng says, I didn't mean it like that. Let's do one thing. Let's take money from mom and pay the down payment. Because Yi Chuan hid the truth of 3 years ago, Jujo thinks, I won't talk to him because he hid the truth of 3 years ago. Yi Chuan comes outside Juju's room and sends her some notes. Juju starts smiling after seeing these notes. In one note, it is written, if you don't want to see me, then just beat me up. Another note says, I will wait for you to come online. Jujo enters the online gaming zone where she pokes Yi Chuan. The scene returns to reality where Yi Chuan asks from outside the room, did you forgive me? Jujo softly says, Yi Chuan says goodnight and leaves. The next day, Yi Chuan and Jujo go to meet a person and say, we are here to deal for our new streaming project. Tian also sees this and thinks, I don't like this. Jujo returns home drunk. Yi Chuan takes her to her room and puts her to sleep. The next day when Jujo wakes up, she remembers that in her drunken state, she did some crazy things. She starts feeling embarrassed. One of those acts was that she thought, I want to kiss Yi Chuan. The next day, Tian and the other team members sit down to play the game. Yi Chuan says, Tian, don't attack. But Tian attacks anyway and ultimately gets killed himself. In this way, he is out of the game. Yi Chuan gets angry with him, and Tian, due to his ego, doesn't listen to Yi Chuan. Later, Jujo explains to Tian, you should forgive Yi Chuan now. Afterward, the fight between Tian and Yi Chuan goes viral on the live stream. Because of this, a potential advertiser of the team thinks, I am stepping back. Shu's boss scolds him. You've made a mistake. She and Juju are sitting together when Juju says, I will work very hard for this team. Later, Juju calls a person named Mr. Zhang and says, I want to apologize to you and I will wait for your message. I have made some plans and I will send the flowchart for those as well. Meanwhile, Yi Chuan starts playing a game with a gamer. After a very tough fight, he wins. Later, Yi Chuan sees that Tian is secretly watching him. He goes to Tian and says, you can learn from me too. You could have come down to see my game. Later in a studio, there is a commentator named Ya who says to Yi Chuan, why did you choose this team of newbies? Your level is very high. Later, Yi Chuan, Tian, and Juju hold a meeting with a brand. From this brand, there is Mr. Lee, to whom these people apologize. Mr. Lee promises to maintain cooperation with them. Later, Juju reads some online comments where it is written, Ya is so beautiful. Seeing this, Juju starts checking herself in the mirror. She goes to a restaurant with Tien's sister. There, she sees Yi Chuan eating with his mom, Ya and Ya's mom. Seeing this, Juju looks at Yi Chuan angrily, and Yi Chuan also sees her. Later, Yi Chuan clarifies to Juju, my mom invited them. Anyway, I don't like girls who are that kind. Later, Yi Chuan's doctor tells him, your hand is not well yet. Yi Chuan asks him for an injection. The doctor prescribes an injection for him for now. Then comes the day of the match. A match is about to take place between Yi Chuan's team and another team. The game starts, and everyone plays very diligently. Tien moves forward very carefully in this game. Then he moves toward a rifle, but just then, Bo Yu from the other team shoots him. With this, Tien is eliminated. Further, Bo Yu eliminates Yi Chuan in the same way. In the next rounds as well, due to poor performance, Team JR falls far behind. Zheng goes outside for some fresh air. A person named Ran says to Zheng, Zheng, do I remember you? A few years ago, I was sitting in a corner. Ran gives a card to Zheng and says, here, take my card. Contact me. Then they get a break, and Yi Chuan's team starts leaving the match ground. Yi Chuan goes to the washroom and takes medicine. In the corridor, Ya comes to meet Yi Chuan and gives him a bag. Zheng explains to everyone, we all have to play well, and everyone will follow Yi Chuan's commands. Everyone starts playing. Now they play by forming a group. Yi Chuan gives individual duties to everyone. Everyone moves forward according to his orders. Yi Chuan shoots a player. Slowly, Team JR's rank improves. Along with this, Team JR reaches the third position among all teams. Today's match ends here. In the interview, everyone asks questions to Team JR, and photographers click photos of the top 3 teams. Yi Chuan goes to the doctor with Bo Yu. The doctor gives him a band and says, your hand is damaged up to level 3, so keep this band on for 24 hours. Bo Yu tells Yi Chuan, keep this band on. Yi Chuan says, I cannot do that. I brought those people into the team. Bo Yu says, look, your hand is only half healed. The rest is damaged. Do you want to sacrifice yourself for this game? Later, Tien's mood is off because the commentators said about him, Tien didn't even pick up a single gun. Why did he give such a performance? It is not understood. Because of this, to cheer up Tien, Yi Chuan takes him out. Over there, Ran says to Wen, I want to know that team a bit from the inside. Here, Ran is talking about Team JR. He further says, we will have to hire Yi Chuan. That will increase our team's value. Here, everyone is eating. Bo Yu serves food on Yi Chuan's plate. His teammates ask him, what are you doing? Bo Yu says, I felt like serving food to my friends. Later, Yi Chuan sees Juju cleaning the car to return it. Actually, they had gone to play the match in this car. Yi Chuan says to Juju, you have had to endure a lot because of the team. In the middle of the conversation, Yi Chuan says, by the way, the pressure of this game is much less than the pressure of marriage. My family wants me to get married. Jojo says, I can help you in this. Look at these photos of some girls. Yi Chuan gets angry at this remark from Juju. Later, Ron calls Zheng and says, you were paid to lose that day. Yi Chuan doesn't know this. He was new to the team then. Here is a contract. With its help, you can buy any property, and Yi Chuan will also get a share from here. But you will have to tell him to join this on team. Zheng says, I won't take anything. I will ask Yi Chuan and then tell you about his opinion. Later, everyone goes to sit in the car. Tien's sister is also there. Everyone thinks, Miss Tien has come at Xi's request. Miss Tien says to her brother, I have come for you. You won the match, and yet you didn't even pick up my phone. Later, everyone comes to a place where the top 3 teams have been invited. Photographers click pictures of different teams. Also, everyone finds out Team On did not come because its members have gone abroad to relax. Interviews of players are taken here. Ya asks Yi Chuan a sensitive question. Yi Chuan, if Team ULT hadn't lost that day, where would you be today? Yi Chuan replies, you all only care about Yi Chuan's success or failure. But I know that I want to become a strong name in esports. That is everything. Then Ya takes Tien's interview. She asks, you only play with a domestic gun. You didn't even take a gunshot at the start of the game. Why is that? Tien says, just because we lost once doesn't mean we will never win. One should keep hope. Tien and Zheng are sitting by the swimming pool. Bo Yu comes and says to Zheng, I will pull Tien into the SIK team. Zheng says, naughty boy. Next, we see that at Miss Tien's suggestion, Juju applies lipstick to attract Yi Chuan. But Yi Chuan says, have you eaten something? That is why your lips are looking so red. Later, everyone sits for dinner. Some chits are given to everyone, which they pick randomly. The names of things written in those chits are given as gifts to the ones who pick them. For example, Bo Yu gets a compass, and another player is given a stereo by his team manager. Next, a kiss is written in Juju's chit. Juju says, I'm not hungry, and leaves. Yi Chuan says, I have a gift that is yet to be given. He goes to Juju and says, want the gift? Why are you blushing so much? Juju says, no need. She says this and enters the room while blushing. Next, we see Zheng entering Yi Chuan's room. He asks Yi Chuan, if you get a chance in a better team, will you go there? Yi Chuan says, everything is fine right here. Just then, Jung suddenly sees Yichuan's medical record. He finds out Yichuan has an injury in his hand. Juju also hears this from outside. After this, Juju says to Yichuan, "Don't hide things from me." Yichuan says, "My hand's condition is not good, so half the responsibility related to the game can be given to Tian." Later, Jung goes inside, and Yichuan says to Juju, "Want the gift?" Then he goes to kiss her. Just then, SIK team players catch them. Yichuan just gives a forehead kiss to Juju and leaves. After this, Jung comes and watches everyone's gaming. He tells Tian very strictly, "Tian, you give commands to the others." Tian says, "I am a sniper." Jung asks, "So will you remain a sniper your whole life? Don't you want to learn anything new?" Tian starts giving commands, but ultimately he loses and cannot play the game well. Later at dinner time, Jung says to Tian, "You will play again after dinner." After dinner, Tian starts playing. He gives some commands, but very soon, he loses. Yichuan starts explaining step by step how to give commands in the game. Yichuan tells Tian, "I was also a sniper like you before. Then one day, a team member couldn't play, so I started playing in his place. And you must have understood how poorly I performed in that game." Tian says, "I think there is still a lot left to decide." Later, Juju tells Tian, "You should rest," and takes Yichuan with her to a room. She gives some medicines to Yichuan and says, "This is for muscle pain." On the other side, Tian orders a customized cake for Juju's birthday. Miss Tian tells him, "No matter how much I tell you, you won't understand." Sher calls Miss Tian. He tells her, "I like you. Do you like me too?" Miss Tian says, "It seems you don't have any important talk to do." Sher says, "I tried very hard, but I couldn't control my feelings. I just need one chance. I like you very much." Tian does decorations for Juju. Seeing such beautiful birthday decorations, Juju calls him Wonder Tian. However, during this, Yichuan arrives and Tian thinks, "I am unable to confess my feelings to Juju." Yichuan also sits down to eat with them. Later, Yichuan takes Juju to a beachside. He gives a cake to Juju. Along with this, they slowly start kissing each other. Later, we see Tian sitting alone. Yichuan comes and says, "Did I ruin your plan?" Tian says, "I know you like Juju, but let me tell you, I also like her. I know Juju likes you and I have no issue with it." Yichuan says, "You have held back your feelings for so many days." Tian says, "It's become a habit now." Later, the team's funds decrease and managers Juju and Shar get into a bit of trouble. Jojo says, "I will keep following up." Next, all the players are a bit upset. Yichuan says, "Training should not stop." Shu and Miss Tian are eating together. Shu says, "I am sorry. I promised you that I would give your brother a stable job, but I will have to break this promise." Miss Tian says, "I also promised my brother that a few months after his graduation, I would become a designer who earns in the millions. So I couldn't keep my promise either." Later, Shu tells Juju, "If you want, you can leave the team. The team's condition is not good." Juju says, "I am the manager of the team. I will bring investment for the team." Later, Tian and Juju are sitting in a park. Tian says to Juju, "I like you, but this like ends right here. You know what is right for you now. So now I am letting you go. I am saying goodbye to my feelings for you." Juju says, "My brother has grown so much. I am sorry. I ignored your feelings." Over there, Bo Yu and Yichuan are in a room. Yichuan looks at some business cards, so Bo Yu asks him, "You are finding it necessary to look for investors?" Later, Yichuan goes to pick up Juju. Juju says, "I spoke to an investor and they are interested in us." Later, Yichuan gives some business cards to Juju and says, "Contact them, maybe we will get a deposit for the team." Juju gets very happy. Then both go to the canteen. Yichuan says, "You are only looking at the card. You didn't even look at me." At night, Yichuan comes to drop Juju at her dormitory. Since all the team members do not live in the team apartment anymore, Juju says goodbye to Yichuan and goes to her room. But it is very dark here and the light isn't working. Jojo comes out and Yichuan is still standing there. Juju tells him the light isn't working. Yichuan says, "My hand is hurting." Juju goes to Yichuan's house and applies medicine to his hand. Yichuan says, "How will I live alone with this hand?" Juju says, "Fine, then I will stay here." A moment comes when while drinking, Yichuan goes to kiss Juju, but just then, Bo Yu enters the room. Juju and Yichuan move away from each other. Bo Yu is not fully conscious. He is in a way asleep and sleeps in the living room. Jojo have to sleep in Yichuan's room. Here, Yichuan tries to touch Juju, but doesn't. The next day, Ya comes to Yichuan's house. She says, "There are some bosses who want to talk to you. I have brought their information." Yichuan says, "I am not interested in other teams." Juju comes and says, "Don't try to be his mentor." Later, Yichuan tells Juju, "The doctor said my hand is better than before." Juju gets happy. Later, Shu says to his dad, There are some sponsors. I'll have to talk to them. Sure is very tense these days regarding the team's financial issues. Next, Ya meets Juju in the lift. She says to Juju, the investors I brought are offering Yichuan a lot. By keeping him in your team, you are ruining his future. Later, Juju tells Yichuan, let's end the 3-month contract right here. The team's condition is bad. Yichuan says, we will face the struggles together. I will pay the remaining deposit money. I have wanted to say this for 3 years. I love you. Let's live together. The next morning, Yichuan dresses up nicely and starts making breakfast. Over there, Juju also does a little touch-up. Yichuan finishes breakfast and goes to call Juju. Jojo pretends to be asleep. Yichuan enters her room and calls her. Jojo pretends to wake up and says, good morning. Yichuan goes near Jojo's face and smells her scent. Jojo hesitates a little. Yichuan asks, what happened? Will the makeup get ruined? Jojo asks, you have also set your hair, haven't you? At Jung's house, Meng's mom arrives. She asks, Jung, will you be able to shift into your new house before the wedding or not? Jung, you are grown up now. Now you should do a stable job. Later, Jung and Meng go to see a house. Suddenly, Ran arrives. Actually, he belongs to the company selling the house. He tells Jung, I offered you a new job with a high salary. Bring Yichuan to me, and I will help you buy the house. But Jung ignores his talk. On the phone, Tian tells Yichuan, today, I expressed my love in front of a Juju. I feel a bit lighter. Yichuan says, I also did that today. Tian asks, so should I send firecrackers for the celebration? Both start laughing. Later, Jung takes Yichuan to Ran. Yichuan is surprised to see Ran. Yichuan tells Ran, look, I already have money. And anyway, I don't like people like you who see everything through money. Ran tells Yichuan, don't think about yourself, at least think about your captain. This is a good offer for Jung. He will stay here as a coach. Yichuan looks at Jung. He takes Jung outside the room. He asks Jung, what are you doing? Jung says, not everyone has a situation where they can choose something. Yichuan says, I will decide what I have to do. Last time when the team lost, you left that team, but I was still with the team. Jung says, I am sorry. This all happened because of me. Yichuan asks, is there anyone I can trust? Later, Yichuan returns home where Tian is waiting for him. Tian is showing some review records to Yichuan, but Yichuan thinks, I am unable to focus well in this gaming session. He gets up to bring food. Tian tells him, you never eat during a review. What has happened? Forget all this. Come with me. Then they go to shoot balloons. Both shoot balloons one after another. After this, Yichuan and Tian sit at a place. Tian asks Yichuan, what happened today? Are you unable to trust anyone? But Jung is your captain. Just like you trust me, try trusting others too. Over there, Shi and Miss Tian cook together. They start eating with Juju. She starts saying cheesy lines dedicated to Miss Tian. So Juju holds her head and says, why did I even come here? Shi tells Miss Tian, the budget is very low. Miss Tian says, this is enough. She asks Miss Tian, what will the house you buy be like? Miss Tian says, it will be big, so that later on its rate increases. Shi asks, and in all this, you are thinking about me too, right? Miss Tian says, you started again. Zheng receives a message. Go and convince Yichuan. Along with it, he receives another message. Base for the new house. Zheng opens his ULT team box and takes out his things, like a trophy, medal, and so on. The next day, she brings everyone to a house. From now on, these players will live here. Later, Zheng comes to Yichuan. He says, I won't find a brother like you anywhere. Yichuan starts smiling. Later, everyone discusses the game, and just then, Ya calls Yichuan outside. Yichuan goes out. Ya tells him, Auntie sent this lunchbox for you, and this is the last time I have come to meet you. Later, Juju finds out that Ya had come, so she asks Yichuan out of jealousy. By the way, what kind of girls do you like? Yichuan says, go look in the mirror, you'll find out. Jojo and Yichuan are in the car. Jojo tells him, if you wear your thermal top and pants, you will look the most handsome. And do you know why tyrannosaurs became extinct? Because their front limbs were very small and they couldn't clap in your praise. Jujo says to Yichuan, you also write complaints about me? Yichuan says, actually, I am very happy when I am with you. The next day, Juju comes to the living area wearing a short dress. The rest of the team also sees Yichuan and Juju together from the staircase. Yichuan quickly covers Juju's legs with a jacket and takes her upstairs. Next, everyone starts playing games. But slowly, issues start occurring in Yichuan's hand. Still, he continues playing. Ultimately, the game ends and Tian wins. But Yichuan's performance deteriorates, and now he has pain in his hand. The next day, Juju comes to the breakfast room. Yichuan asks her, who asked you to post the ad? Jojo says, you gave me your account password. Yichuan remains annoyed. Jojo goes to kiss him, but Yichuan moves away. However, he gives a forehead kiss to Juju. Later, someone calls Yichuan, and then Yichuan calls Tian. Yichuan brings Tian to a basketball court. He tells Tian, play basketball. Tian plays it, but then Yichuan says, I have work right now. Tian thinks Yichuan isn't giving time to game training and gets very angry. Next, we see the doctor telling Yichuan, don't even think about the competition now. You want your hand, don't you? In a few days, Dr. William is coming to China. I will fix your meeting with him. Everyone is practicing the game here, but Yichuan does not come. After a while, Tian goes to Yichuan's house. Tian says, Yichuan, go play. But Yichuan says, I won't go. Tian leaves from there in anger. Yichuan said to Captain Zheng the previous night, this is the condition of my hand. Zheng says to Shi and Yang, this is the condition of Yichuan's hand. When Tian returns home, Zheng informs him as well. Zheng says, Yichuan hid this because he didn't want you to be worried and for your game to get ruined. Hearing this, Tian immediately goes to Yichuan's house. He keeps knocking on the door, but Yichuan does not open it because he thinks, I am currently with the doctor. The doctor says to Yichuan, your hand will have to be under treatment all the time. Yichuan is sitting on the ground with Juju. Juju says to him, why didn't you tell me all this? Look, many people come here with their dreams. We get something or the other in the results. But I know that what you have received in the result is not what you liked. But I am always with you. Yichuan returns home. Tian says, I am sorry. Yichuan says, you are very good. Tian sends a message to Yichuan's account. I will fulfill your dream. Next, we see in a flashback that Yichuan is playing a game and Captain Zheng says, Yichuan, I will give you extra practice. Yichuan becomes very happy. He asks Zheng, how many years did it take you to win the first trophy? Zheng says, 4 years. The scene returns to the current time, and Yichuan and Zheng smile at each other. The doctor tells Yichuan, William will arrive on Saturday. I have explained the case to him. The surgery will be done by Monday. Zheng participates in the tournament in place of Yichuan. Zheng is practicing the game. He says to everyone, look, now I am your teammate, so if there is any issue with me, tell me. Now everyone starts taking someone's class. They tell Zheng, you should practice like this, practice like that, do more training. Over there, they say like CE isn't playing well. They think his confidence has become low. Ran tells Wenwen, how many times have I told you to focus on the players? While playing the game, they think CE made a mistake. But then he fights with another teammate and says, my teammate also made a mistake. Wenwen comes and scolds both. She says, don't create so many issues in training. Yichuan tells Bo Yu, you know, that mouse was as small as my hand, but I couldn't catch it. If I had caught it, then perhaps I wouldn't have been able to catch anything else. Anyway, if my hand were fine, I would have defeated you. Some boys come and say to Yang, we want to take your interview. You are going to participate in the global team, and you have also written an online thesis on the game. Hearing this, Yang becomes very happy. Tian tells Shi, look, I have accepted the relationship between you and my sister. Shi happily says to Miss Tian, after the competition, you will be mine. Ran plays a recording for Zheng. Then he says, this will let Yichuan know that at that time, ULT lost because of you. Now, I won't say anything to anyone about this if the ON team also moves forward by defeating other teams. Actually, Ran is intentionally telling Zheng to lose. After this, Zheng returns to his team and asks, what if I am the one in charge? Zheng says, Tian is still young. If the team loses, he won't be able to face the stress. I have seen this many times. I will handle it. Next, Yichuan and Juju are in the corridor and go to kiss each other. Just then, Yang and Shi see them, so Yichuan and Jojo move away. To manage the situation, Jojo says, come on, let's go eat food now. Hearing this, Shi and Yang look the other way and say, come on, let's eat food. And they leave. While eating, Juju says to everyone, all of you, don't eat such spicy food. On the day before a game, players of other teams don't even eat so they can stay healthy. Yichuan says to her, you take less stress. Zheng starts saying to Yichuan, but Yichuan does not let him finish, and seeing Zheng upset, he says, hey, don't you worry. The team broke because of what happened with you. But now, everyone is joined back too. The final competition is about to start, and players begin entering the floor. The game is just about to start when a flashback shows Ron telling Zheng, remember, it is necessary for your team to lose. The scene returns to the current time, where Captain Zheng is giving wrong commands to the other players in the game. Sitting in the green room, Yichuan and Juju also notice this. Yichuan thinks, Zheng gave me wrong commands in the same way during a final tournament in the past. The scene returns to the current time, and while playing according to Zheng's command, Tian and Yang lose in the first round. The second round starts. Here, Team JR has to play according to Zheng's commands. At one point, Zheng gets injured, and Tian and Yang start shooting the enemy. Then in a while, Tian goes to save Captain Zheng. He delivers supplies to Zheng. Zheng looks at him with surprise. Tian says to Zheng, Captain, I am giving you level 3 armor. A moment comes when a bomb blasts, and with this, both Tian and Zheng become very weak in the game. But from here, Yang and Tian join together and rescue Zheng while shooting enemies. Ultimately, the JR players escape death. Zheng is thinking, a while ago I had said to Yichuan, I was your leader before, now I am your coach, and now forgive me. The scene returns to the current time, and Tien starts playing with great enthusiasm. This moves Team JR far ahead. Over here in the green room, the ON team members discuss, Team JR has moved ahead quite quickly. I hope they don't overtake us. Ran also notices all this. Despite so much effort, Team JR is quite far from reaching the final. In the game, Tien asks Shi and Yang, how many bullets and grenades do you have? Then he takes some bullets from Yang and starts running backward. There are many enemies here. They move near Tien, seeing him alone. Just then, Tien gets up and starts shooting one enemy after another. The commentator says, Tien has used a gun like Yichuan for the first time. Moving forward like this, Tien wins in this round. Yichuan also likes this. But then Zheng looks a bit upset. In the green room, Juju says, now we can move forward in the finals. Ran is standing in the corridor. Zheng says to him, I know what I am doing. Do whatever you want to do. In the next rounds, Team JR will try its best. Next round starts. Here, Si Yi of the ON team and Tien of the JR team come face to face. Si Yi throws a small bomb between himself and Tien, which blurs the vision in front. Si Yi aims toward Tien and starts shooting randomly. But Tien does not shoot. After a while, when the vision clears a bit, Tien shoots Si Yi. But then Si Yi shoots Tien in the head, which puts Tien out of this round and this match. When Team JR starts leaving the floor, Zheng says in front of everyone, I cheated in the match that took place 3 years ago. Otherwise, Team ULT would have won that day. In a flashback, we see that a person from the opponent team gave an offer to Zheng. If Team ULT loses, you will be given the money for the surgery. The scene returns to the current time, where Zheng says, I am sorry, Yichuan. I have used Yichuan and have also used the trust of every single member of that ULT team. Today, at this very moment, I am leaving the sports industry. Yichuan from here and the rest of the JR team members go to catch Zheng, but they are unable to find him. Ran tells Si Yi, look, you show a lot of attitude. Don't forget that you agreed to cheat. Si Yi said, you forced me. The doctor comes and tells Yichuan, the surgery will be the day after tomorrow. Next, we see Yang observing Si Yi's game. Suddenly, he realizes Tien was already dead before Si Yi shot him in the game. So now he feels Si Yi has definitely used an auto-aim cheating program. He goes and says to the organizing committee, Si Yi has definitely used an auto-aim cheating program. The organizing committee gets ready to research this thing. Everyone goes to the hospital to see Yichuan. Here, Yichuan asks, give me your phones to watch today's match. But no one gives him a phone. Over there, the on-team captain explains game strategies to everyone and says, don't attack just by looking at the opponent. We should observe the action and reaction system a bit more. Just then, the tournament committee members enter the ON team's room. They say, all of you, come with us. We have to do some investigation. The coach says, the manager's not here right now. We cannot go. The committee says, fine, when you come, bring all the hardware and we have to inspect it. Next, the coach tells the on-team manager, call and bring Wen. When everyone comes to the reception, the organizers tell Wen, your team has cheated. Wen misbehaves with the organizer and says, you are saying just anything. Just then, Si Yi arrives with a committee member who says he has confessed his mistake. Si Yi says, yes, I have done so. Over here, everyone from Team JR is eating fried chicken. Yichuan is given only soup and non-oily food because he has surgery. Just then, messages arrive on everyone's phones, so Tien covers Yichuan's eyes. Yichuan doesn't understand anything. He goes to the washroom, washes his face, and returns. Juju turns him toward herself. Yichuan asks for a kiss. Juju gives a kiss on his cheek. The other 4 people ask, why are we sitting here? Then they leave the room. Later, Juju tells everyone, Team On has been disqualified from the competition. According to the rules, we can participate now. Shu says, we will quit. Currently, we only have 3 members. We won't be able to play normally like this. Later, we see Juju says to the reception, we want to quit. And just then, Yichuan arrives and says, we will not quit. Next, Yichuan and Juju come in front of a restaurant. Yichuan says, this is the place where I met you for the first time. He tells Juju, you should join NSG. Being together doesn't mean you sacrifice and put your career into trouble. Later, everyone is sitting, and Sher tells Juju very happily, do you know what happened today? I found out my dad is also coming to see the match. While saying this, in excitement, he had held Juju's hand. Yichuan gets angry and tells Sher, you are excited, but you cannot touch my girlfriend. Later, everyone reaches the green room wearing the JR team uniform to play. The doctor comes and tells Yichuan, ask me after a while which way it is correct to do force movement. I will tell you, and if there is even a little pain during the game, inform me. Everyone is on the floor. International teams are introduced. Slowly, the game starts. Yichuan starts playing. He gives commands to others. Outside the tournament hall, we see Zheng standing. In the game, Team JR plays with all its heart. After the round ends, 2 teams score good points, but Team JR does not perform particularly well. Team SIK also does not perform well. The first half ends. Team Mars and Team Lime perform well. Their rank is also good. Jung is sitting in the audience. Jung goes to the corridor to look at the boards. All the players see him. They meet him and talk nicely. Jung apologizes to everyone. He says, "Sorry, I am late." They come up with new strategies. Team JR decides together, we will set a new commander. They set Tien as the new commander because the opponent will not know about his methods. So the opponent will get confused. The game starts. Tien starts giving commands. Slowly, Team JR performs well. This strengthens Team JR's position. Along with this, Yichuan performs so well that the commentator says Yichuan's name will be written in history. Next round starts. Team JR takes a little risk. The commentator says, is Team JR crazy or strong? This is not the right time to attack. The JR team players start playing in their own way. Slowly, the players in all teams decrease. Now, only Tien and Yichuan remain alive in Team JR. Only in Team Mars, everyone is alive. Next, while playing, Bo Yu kills a player of Team Mars. This makes the game a bit easy. Team JR also attacks, and ultimately the winner in this round is Team JR. Along with this, Team SIK is the winner of the whole match. Everyone is happy, and Yichuan happily hugs Juju. Later, we see Yichuan teaching game strategies to new students. Then Yichuan's team members arrive. He leaves with them. Over there, Juju also gives a speech about esports to a new team. At night, everyone starts having dinner together and looks quite happy. At the end, they say together, "Cheers!" And with this, the drama has a happy ending.